Hello, everybody. Jesse Doubek here. We're live. It's the Beyond Big Influence show with Jesse Doubek, and I have a very good friend of mine on the show today, somebody that is awesome in the industry. I met this guy when I was at a live event. I was speaking, and he was in the crowd, and honestly, he gave me massive amount of energy for this talk that I did. And it was the first time that I mentioned our platform Influencer Soft to the world. And then we had dinner afterwards. He became a great friend of mine. He's been on the show before. I think I've been on his show maybe once. And, we're excited here to share with you a topic that is really, really important. And it's live streaming. We're going to talk about that. Live streaming on the internet. That's something that I was always doing a lot of when I was working with Brendan Burchard and Melanie Ann Layer and Shalene Johnson and a lot of different people that were getting started. We were doing a lot of live streams, and myself, I did 100 live streams in 1 year. And when I did my live events in San Diego, we had everybody in the whole crowd go live at the same time. That was one of the things people love, to get out of their comfort zone. And we had about 95% of our audience at my live events. And even if I spoke on a stage, on somebody else's stage, we had them go live. And that was a very memorable thing. So we're here to talk about that. Ken's an amazing guy. He's been in the industry for quite a bit of time, and he's a #1 best-selling author. He's the CEO of a web development and social media firm and the creator of the Grow Live Academy, a comprehensive course on how to successfully use social media, video, and live streaming. That's what we're here to talk about today. Live streaming to build your personal or business brand and generate money, revenue. So Ken's passion is helping people succeed. Ken also has his own podcast, Breakthrough Walls. Okay, so he's got his own show. Check out Ken. We're going to show you what he's up to and how to get in touch with him as we get going here. And his Breakthrough Walls show is where he interviews celebrities and successful entrepreneurs who share their stories to help people get past influences that may be keeping them stuck. Okay, so we're gonna talk about today Ken's story. Ken, welcome to the show.
Jesse, I'm grateful you have me here, man. Thank you.
Yeah, this is gonna be awesome. And I know we've interviewed you before, and you're just somebody that I just always want to come on whenever you want. So Ken's just a homie to me. He's a great friend. So welcome on. And can you just share people kind of your backstory, just who you are, just give a little bit of context. I introed you a little, but that doesn't really do it justice. So,
yeah, dude. So thank you, man. I'm first off, I'm honored that you would ask me to come on. Was I really on before? I don't remember that.
Yeah, you were. Here's the thing. I interviewed you and I checked it out because we never even released the episode. I interviewed you on Zoom.
It was that bad?
Private? No, it wasn't bad at all. It wasn't bad. I just didn't have time to put it out. So. And that was the case with 10 people. As soon as I switched over to doing it here, and now we have a team. Now we actually you're on Podbean. We got we're actually seriously doing it. I just wasn't ready to do it before, So I did interview you, and I did that the case with 10 other people. So we are going to go back and re-release those episodes because I gave everybody access, because now I have a team that's going to grab those, and we'll probably put bits and pieces of that out to even promote this. Yeah. So anyway, I did interview you, but it never hit the market. And, I
was wondering what was holding back my success. Now I know.
Yeah, that's it, man. You got to get on the show.
Look, I admire you and what you do and who you are and what you've accomplished, man. And I'm very grateful to be here. So thank you. But I've done, I got my very first computer at 11 years old. It was a Commodore 64C. And I remember geeking out, man. I'm reading books because the internet didn't exist back then. So I'm reading books on how to write basic computer language and and you're backing up to a cassette tape, and like it was crazy, man. And so I've kind of always been a little bit of a computer geek in a way. And then I got into sales and marketing and eventually and I saw the internet, man, when it first came out. And in 1994, a buddy of mine in the state of West Virginia, he said, I'm building an ISP. And I'm like, what the heck's an ISP, dude? And it's an internet service provider. And I said, okay, what is that, man? And so I went to where he was building this thing, and I started learning all these things about stuff I had no clue about. And I forget most of it, but I remember him going, dude, you can build a website. And I'm like, no, everybody uses AOL. What the heck do you need a website for? Like it literally was that, man. And so I learned in 1994, I built my very first website and hard coded it in an HTML editor called Hot Dog. I'll never forget.
Hot Dog,
man.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, it was. Look it up, man. It's probably in the archive somewhere. But so like, and then moves into front page, Microsoft extensions, all this stuff, or front page. It was crazy. So I was like, okay, this is dope. This is cool. I love being it, right. And I mean, technology started changing so fast. People are like, do you know JavaScript? And I'm like, what the heck is JavaScript? I had so it changed so fast. And I've kept up with it throughout all this time. And so I've done website development. Back in 2014, I was dominating Columbus, Ohio when it came to websites. Like I was ranked #1 in Google. I was the best SEO guy, and it's a long story I won't go into, but I ended up meeting Grant Cardone.
Oh yeah.
And I signed a $36,000 contract with his company and to have his sales training for my salespeople. And I remember going, I wonder where Grant ranks in Google. So I type in sales training, right?
Yeah.
And Grant's nowhere to be found. And I'm like, what? This guy's insane. Like he's nowhere to be found. And I think he's incredible. I'm like, Dale Carnegie. Carnegie was #1. And I'm like, I call my sales guy at Grant's office. I'm like, hey, dude, transfer me to Grant. And he's like, for what? And I go, transfer me to Grant. I want to talk to him. He goes, I can't do that. And I go, yes, you can. Transfer me to Grant. And he goes, dude, I'll get fired. I'm not doing that. And I'm like, but his SEO sucks, man. I want to help him. And he goes, you're going to have to get creative and figure out another way because I'm not transferring you. I'm like, whatever. I said, dude, I spend $1,000 a month with you guys. And he goes, this is what he said. He goes, no offense, but Grant could drop $1,000 on the ground and not even care to stop and pick it up. Like,
yeah.
And I go, how's that not supposed to be offensive? That was offensive.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? And so I flew my assistant down, had these custom bottles of wine made for Grant and his wife, and she delivered them. Grant, and if you go to my client SI, my company website, Grant made a post about me and all of this, and it's on my website. But it was at that moment that Grant called me, and he said at the end of the conversation, which I was blown away by it, but obviously, I thought I was big stuff. I was like, I dominate Columbus, Ohio. Me and two other cows, but like, to have a guy worth $100 million at the time call you and thank you, and then he said the key thing. He said, "Hey, man. Look, if there's ever anything I can do, for you and your family, you let me know." And I said, actually, there is, Grant. And he's like, because most people would have said, oh, okay, thank you. And I wanted to say that, but I was like, this is my chance. Don't blow it. And I said, actually, there is. And he said, what? And I go, well, I build websites and do SEO. He goes, okay. And I go, well, I Googled sales training and Dale Carnegie's #1 and he's dead and you're nowhere to be found. He goes, I know. And that pisses me off. I said, well, why don't we do something about that? Right.
Yeah.
And it kind of opened the door. So I worked on Grant's SEO for a couple of years and we never made any traction because he has so much bad SEO that other people have done. But anyway, we got some traction, not much, but anyway, at the end of the day, I won a trip on his private jet. And instead of taking that trip, I spent 3 hours with him in his office, one-on-one coaching, and Grant changed my life that day.
Wow.
Because I went from feeling like I was big shit. Go
ahead. Say whatever you want.
Oh, okay.
I'm good, man.
So
you can cuss, you can do whatever. It's your world, man.
I went from feeling like I was the big man on campus to feeling like I was a zero, man. Like, you're sitting with Grant Cardone, dude. I'm way taller than he is, but I felt like I was sitting with Andre the Giant. I was like, this dude's energy is so massive. And I'm sitting in his office and he had lunch catered in and he said something to me that day that it changed me. He said, first he asked me what I wanted, why I was there. I said, well, I'd like a private jet too, someday.
Yeah.
He goes, okay, well, what are you doing to get it? And I go, sitting in your office right now, like I think we're off to a good start. Yeah. And he's like, he goes, let me ask you a question. I go, okay. He goes, what are you hiding from?
Yeah.
I said, what do you mean? What am I hiding from? He said, what are you hiding from? I look at social media. You're not doing anything. Like if I wasn't your friend on Facebook, I wouldn't even be able to see your posts. And you're not, and back then Instagram wasn't even a thing, but you're not on Twitter, which was a thing. I said, I'm on Twitter. He goes, yeah, but you like never post. And I go, okay. Yeah. So anyway, he had this long talk with how to use social media and he's said a lot of it publicly as well. But when I walked out of that office, I was like, oh my God. And I literally stayed in a hotel a block and a half away from his office. So I walked and I don't even remember it, dude. I was in I was in this space of numbness. And I go back to my hotel room. The very first thing I did was open up Periscope and I did a live stream because that was all you did. That was the only thing that
I remember Periscope when I watched, right? Yeah.
So I did this live stream and I was like, my life just changed. I don't know how or why or what's going to happen, but I'm completely numb right now. And Grant Cardone just changed my life. And people are like, well, what did he say? I'm like, a lot. Like, I don't even know. I don't know, but it was a lot. And so, dude, from that moment, because he talked about live streaming and I was like, you know what? I'm going all in. And I'm like, I wonder if I can use live streaming to get attention because Grant's always like, gotta get attention, right? Money follows attention. I'm like, I like that. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And so that first year, the very first year after meeting with Grant, I did over 800 live streams on Periscope.
Oh, wow.
On very Periscope. First year.
This was like 2014 or 15?
15.
Yeah, 2015, I think. Yep. 100%.
Dude, it changed my life because I built a following, a massive following. Grant was getting on my live streams.
Oh, nice.
It was insane, man. He was sharing my live streams with his 5 trillion people. And, it was nuts, man. And so I learned how to do giveaways and help people and do live coaching with people, helping them through their crap. And I made mistakes. We all do, man. But I don't let that stop me. I don't we all screw up, man. Anybody tells you they're perfect will lie to you about other shit too. So I just like, right? Like, I'm just like, dude, I'm going to mess up, but so are you. So let's do it together. Let's just screw this up. And so that's kind of where things started for me, where I really started going all in. Now I've done over 3,500 or more live streams.
Oh, wow.
I
Just
don't
like individual ones, or you're saying you're streaming on multiple things at the same time, and that counts for 10 at a time?
No.
3,500 legit
different
live
times.
streams.
Yeah.
How long were you live each time?
Depends. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. I mean, I've interviewed on my Breakthrough Walls podcast, my show. I've interviewed 470-ish total episodes now. Yeah. And, several that didn't make it up because I just didn't like the interview. So I didn't put it on the podcast network. But most of them make it though. So yeah, right now I'm at 450 that are uploaded to the podcast platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. So you think it's safe to say, how they say, 10,000 hours, you become an expert? I mean, that's probably over 10,000 hours, right? I mean, maybe like 20,000.
I don't know, but I don't. I mean, I don't know if I'm an expert or not, man. I know this. What I am an expert in is this. Yeah. I have no fear of going live. Zero. None. Yeah. I've interviewed people who make their living on television that were visibly nervous at first on my podcast. Yeah. And they, I've interviewed I've interviewed a lot of people. So, but I have no fear of it, man. None. Zero. Not uncomfortable at all.
Do you ever second guess at all? Like when you're going to go live and you're going to talk about something and you get nervous, or like a nervous excitement, butterflies or something?
Every single time.
Okay.
Still.
Yeah.
To this day, even right now with you, I was like,
are you nervous right now? Or are you nervous before we started?
No, I don't know. It's not nervous. I don't know if that's the word. I just,
you just didn't know what you're going to expect. Like, what am I going to say? Am I going to start picking my nose in the middle of it? Am I going to?
I don't do that anymore.
You don't pick your nose, or you don't get nervous?
I don't pick my nose. Not on live stream. I'm kidding. So no, I mean, I have no fear of going live. And I think that here's, when I'm doing talks from stage and I talk about this, I say this, first off, you and I, our biggest competitor on social media is not everybody else, and it's not ourselves. It's the freaking algorithms. The algorithms dictate who sees our content and who doesn't. And if you have, the average Facebook user, for example, has like 700 friends. Well, Facebook may only show your content to 20 people out of your 700 friends. Yeah. Your post may not be seen by 1% of your friends, maybe up to 5% if you're a rock star. Yeah. So your competition is the algorithm, and the attention that you want to get on social media is you want to get the attention of the algorithm. You want the algorithm to know that you love Facebook, or you love Twitter, or you love Instagram, and you're here to use them. And once Facebook goes, oh, Jesse's serious about using us, then they bump you up. You get a little nudge in who they show your content to. Yeah. So when I remember Grant saying, hey, this guy came into my office and that worked for me and back in 2010 or whatever. And Grant, we got a problem. You don't go to Grant with problems, by the way, ever. Like you just don't. Like it's not like he's like, he'll grind you like a pencil if you come to him with negativity. But this guy comes in, we got a problem. Grant's like, what's the problem? He's like, we're losing Twitter followers, like a lot. And he's like, okay, why? Well, they're complaining. They're saying that we post too much. And he's like, well, how much are we posting? They're like 9 or 10 times a day, man. And he goes, okay, I got the solution. And they're like, okay, what? Tomorrow I want you to post 30 or 40 times.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
He's like, wait,
Oh
what?
my
No,
God.
I just told you that no, I know what you told me. Those people that are unfollowing me aren't my customers. I don't care. They'll come back.
Yeah. No, I love that, man. This is awesome.
You got to get attention, man. You got to use it. Beat it up, man. You got to beat it up.
Yeah, I remember listening to one of Grant's, I watch a lot of his stuff, obviously, a lot of people do. And, he talked about walking into the store and he went to go buy prunes and he came out with the Corona because the Corona got his attention. And that's what you got to do, get people's attention. I feel like Gary Vee does that. There's a lot of influencers out there doing that.
Yep.
And they're just not afraid, right? And they're just keep posting and posting and posting.
Yep.
And it's like what you said. What are you hiding from, right? Just get out there and start doing it. I mean, and that's why I love this show Beyond Big Influence, because like every time I have somebody on, like it motivates me and inspires me to get out of my bubble and my comfort zone. Like really, I'm learning from you right now. Like this is really amazing. And I think a lot of people watching, if you're out there, make sure you share this out, because this is a very important message coming from Ken, who's an expert in the space. I mean, he's a humble guy, so he's not going to, admit that, I just said he's put probably 20,000 hours. Well, I don't know if I'm an expert. Yeah, you are, dude. And you've also worked with some of the top people that are doing it, and their deepest, darkest, biggest secrets to having success. Yeah. And you're sharing that with the world right now. So I got to commend you for that. So
thanks, dude.
So that really is awesome. So you mentioned the algorithm, and that's your enemy, or that's your friend, or whatever you want to say. That's who you're competing against. So besides posting, 30, 40 times a day, is there a type of post that you want to do? Is there like styles of posting that you want to start doing, like 5% this style of posting, 5%? Is there like kind of a schedule or structure behind it, or how do you go about triggering this beast of an algorithm?
There probably is. There probably is some kind of method. I don't know what that is. So, okay. And until like Mark Zuckerberg calls me and goes, "Hey, dude, here's the secret." I'm just gonna keep posting everything I can. I do know that Reels are huge. The fastest growing social media platform in the world is TikTok. It still is. It's freaking insane. Yeah. And I only have like 100 and something, but I watched Grant go from, I don't know, a year and a half ago, he didn't even have TikTok, to now he's got millions and millions of followers on TikTok, because he does exactly what I'm talking about. He doesn't do one TikTok a day. People are like, oh, I did. Here's the thing, man. And this is so true. And Grant says it in a way that's really funny, but he's making a point, and it's true. He's like, people say I posted once on Twitter today, and they think that they're like setting the world on fire. That's like taking a thimble out to the ocean, taking a scoop out and hiding it, thinking people are going to miss it. Nobody's going to notice. Like, you got to beat the hell out of it like he does with TikTok. And so, can you do it all on your own? No, you can't do it all on your own. I do my live streams on my own, just like you're doing right now using StreamYard. But, you've got to do what you can on your own. If that's 3 posts or 4 posts a day right now or whatever, that's fine. Do whatever. But here's something else that's incredibly important. I don't want to go too far without mentioning this.
Okay, sure.
Something that is unbelievably important. I've had people on my show. My show is now ranked in the top 1% in the world in podcasts. Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
And I have people reach out to me all the time that want to be on my show. First, I have a rule. If you reach out to me and ask to be on my show, the answer is no, unless your name is Grant Cardone, Donald Trump, or somebody with a massive name behind them, right? So the answer is like you've got to like have somebody refer you, or your agent or somebody like that. Publishers reach out to, but
100%.
Here's the thing. I've had people on my show that did not share our interview to their social media.
Yeah.
And here's what I have to say to those people.
Yeah.
You are self-centered and selfish, and you have no idea how it really works in life. And eventually, even though they may have a lot of followers, eventually that'll catch up to them.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that I've interviewed people that didn't share the interview to I've already shared this to my page. I'm going to share it to my fan page where I have 75,000 followers after we're done. I already shared it to my 5,000 friends, but like it blows my mind that people don't do that. And here's the thing. Once that happens and they don't share it, you're dead to me. Don't ever ask me for another thing ever again. Do you know how I got on Grant? If you called Grant, or if Grant may even see this, quite frankly. But if you said, hey, do you know Ken Walls? He knows me really, really well. Do you know why he knows me really, really well? The reason he knows me really, really well is I have shared the shit out of his content. I mean, like a maniac. Seriously, like I shared the crap out of it. And if you don't learn that social media is called social media, not me media. It's social. Like share other people's stuff for the love of God, share it out. You're never going to get any traction on social media if you're trying to keep it all to yourself. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, I really love that because, you know, I worked with Brendan Burchard for a long time, and that's what we would focus on is, you know, sharing his stuff on like so many different pages, finding people to share, but then also finding things to share onto his page that were people that he wanted to get in their circle. And that's one of the people was like, you know, Oprah Winfrey came in that particular way, right? Because he's like really big on that. So, you know, that's a really huge secret. I mean, guys, this is gold. This guy, Ken Walls, is a beast. Like he's been in the industry a long time. I mean, he's hard coding websites in 1994. I mean, getting on Grant Cardone's, you know, good side early on, you know, before he's even a billionaire like he is today. I mean, you know, Ken's in with the best of the best. So who are some of the people you've had on your podcast, and how did you get to the point of like getting it to that level? Like how long have you had the podcast? Like you've had celebrities on. Who are some of them? And then how is the process of like you building up that influence to have people that are really big names start coming on?
Man, I wish I had an answer for that. So
I'm asking you some tough questions. Huh?
It is it's because it's happened. Look, I'm no different than Kimberly or Kelly or Alexandru or anybody on here. Like I want what I want when I want it, and I want it now. And the 2-year-old inside of me stomps and kicks my feet if I don't get what I want when I want it. Right. So I really am. That's who I am. I want it now. And so when I started the Breakthrough Walls show, first I had a show on Grant's network for 3 months on Grant Cardone TV. And that's kind of where I cut my teeth was, you know, I interviewed Grant on his own network, on my show, on his network, and some other people. But, you know, I started the show a little over 4 years ago. And man, I've had so many, honestly, Mark Victor Hansen, the #1 best-selling author of all time, Chicken Soup for the Soul. Well, Mark is now, here's what's crazy for people listening. And I teach this stuff in my academy, but you know, this is what's crazy is you have no idea. Like people don't have a clue. If you learn how to do what I'm talking about by making mistakes, by screwing up is one way, and learning from a professional. But when you learn how to do, like, it opens so many freaking doors. Like you could say to me right now, you could say, Ken, who else should I, or at the end after we're done, who else should I have on? Do you know anybody that should be on my show? Yeah, Mark Victor Hansen. Let me refer him to you because I have his cell phone number too, or his email or what, right? And you know Sharon Lecter, right? And all these people,
she's been on before,
right? So creating influence isn't about you going out and telling everybody how great you are. Creating influence is you going out and telling everybody how great they are.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
So to have Jesse come on and then I edify you and I talk about, influencer soft, and I talk about all the stuff and I ask you questions and you get to talk and tell your story, and it creates this goodwill with people, right? So Mark Victor Hansen was on my show with his beautiful wife Crystal, and Mark and I helped them. I helped them get on a bunch of other podcasts, big shows. And so a year ago, Mark reaches out to me and he says, "Hey, you remember that story you told me about how excited you were when we first met?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm still excited every time you call me. Are you kidding me? It's Mark Victor freaking Hansen calling me." And he says, "Listen, I have Mitzi Perdue of the Perdue chicken family, billionaire S. She is writing my biography." And I said, "Cool." And he goes, "I want her to interview you so you can tell your story about when we first met." And I said, "Wow, that's nice. That's cool. I'm honored. Thank you." And so I thought, and I hung up with him and I thought, well, that was cute. That's never going to happen, but that was nice. Thank you, Mark. And then I get an email from Mitzi Perdue. "Ken, I'd like to set up a time to interview you for Mark's book, his biography. The #1 best-selling author of all time wants my story in his life story book." Like, what?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Like, that's not real. How's this happening to me? And so I do the interview. We talked for over an hour. It was amazing. And I thought, well, that was cute. She's so sweet. That's never making it to the book, but that was really awesome. I got to hang out with Mitzi Perdue for an hour. Mark sends me a message about 2 months ago. He's like, "Hey, here's a transcript of the book and blah, blah, blah. The book was just released a couple weeks ago, and this is the book."
Oh,
right?
Wow. Nice. Yeah, there it is. Relentless.
And
where are you going to pick that up? On Amazon?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. So okay. All of the chapters have Mark's name in it, and Chicken Soup for the Soul, and then you see chapter 9 there has Bob Proctor's name. Everything else has Mark's name.
Yeah.
Until you get over to chapter 27.
Yeah, you might need to pull it back a little. I don't know. It's not focused.
10 walls, proof of
the there it is. I see you. Dude, yeah, number 27.
I have a freaking chapter in Mark Victor Hansen's biography. What? Yeah. What? Like,
that's amazing.
That's crazy, man. And it all happened because I learned how to edify other people. Yeah. I learned how to help other people. See, everybody on this planet, Kimberly, Kelly, everybody watching, you, me, we all want other people to hear our story, our side of the story, right?
You're like, how do I get somebody to do that? So you have a strategy. You're thinking selfishly, right? Like that's so many people. Man.
That's it.
And the way is to edify other people.
It's amazing. And so I've had Jeffrey Gitomer, who's a good friend of mine. I wrote that book right there, Go Live.
Okay.
I wrote the longest chapter in that book with Jeffrey Gitomer, who's wrote the Little Red Book of Selling. And all of this is, a lot of these are on my website. Amazon reached out to me, Amazon, and said, "We want to make you an Amazon influencer." I'm like, "What's that?" And they're like, "Well, we want you to live stream directly on Amazon to all of our customers and sell stuff, and we'll pay you a commission for that." And I'm like, "Shut the front door. Are you serious? Why?" Like, what? Why? I don't get that. Like, but it all comes from helping other people tell their story. Facebook reached out to me and said, "We want to verify your account, your personal account." So I have
that was the big news that just happened. Yeah, because you posted that you were going to get on with Meta and Facebook, and that's some big news. Was that it, or is that something else?
No, that was a year ago. They gave me they verified my account. No, they reached out to me, and apparently they only reach out to people that are spending like $100,000 a month or more for this program. I'm not spending $100,000 a month with Facebook. In fact, their stuff got so confusing that I just quit advertising with Facebook altogether. And they got me in this marketing program now. I met with them yesterday, actually. And I'm in a 60-day marketing program to learn in detail, every single detail of how everything works with Facebook advertising. And I'm blown away by it. Because the guy goes, well, wait a minute, how did you, so you're not spending any money with us right now? And I said, no, dude, I haven't in a while. And he goes, well, how did you get on my calendar? I said, somebody called me. I don't know. And he goes, well, normally you have to be spending 6 figures a month to be on my calendar. And I go,
yeah.
Well, do you want to take me off your calendar? Like, I'm not. So I'm not spending 6 figures a month with you. And I won't be until like I understand. And so anyway, it was really cool, man. I'm like, maybe God, I don't know. I don't know why I'm on your calendar, bro. But yeah, man, I think that, you know, I would encourage anybody, you know, everybody on social media, everybody watching right now, we all want to be bigger. We all want to make more money. We want to make a bigger impact in the world. And, you know, the way that you make a bigger impact in the world is help other people make a bigger impact in the world first.
That's amazing. Yeah. And that's what you're doing. I mean, clearly you've done that in your career and it's paid off. So, I'd imagine you're just going to keep doing that. Just keep serving other people, just keep bringing people on the podcast and keep serving your customers. Now you have a program called 100 live stream secrets. So how does that work? And
that's not a program. That's a free download for anybody.
Oh, it's for free. Okay.
See this book right here, Go Live, that Jeffrey Gitomer wrote?
Yeah.
He wrote that after I trained him on how to go live. I trained him, and he called me. He's like, Walls. I said, what's up, Jeffrey? He said, hey, my publisher wants me to write a new book. And I said, cool. And he goes, yeah, the title though, because I have the Grow Live Academy where I have hundreds of people in there that I teach all this stuff to. And he said, the title they want to use is Go Live. And I go, why? Like, he goes, settle down. He goes, I told him I wouldn't use that unless you agreed, and you have to write one of the opening chapters. So the 100 live stream secrets that you have
right here, guys, go there, make sure you get it. It's free. Just go and go to that link and opt in. You're just going to put your information in and you get the 100 live stream secrets. And
that ebook is in that book right there.
Okay. Yeah.
It literally is chapter 3. Now in the Go Live book, there's obviously a little bit more than just the 100 live stream secrets, but the 100 live stream secrets ebook is fantastic. The reason I wrote that ebook is, number one, it's a great lead generator or magnet. Number two, it's because people are always like, well, how do you come up with ideas to talk about when you go live? And so I'm like, that's a great question. Actually, I get asked that a lot. So I'm going to write a freaking ebook on it. And when people ask me that now, I go, great question. Go to 100livestreamsecrets.com and download. It's free. It literally is free. Like, you are opting into my list, but I don't spam people. I just honestly, I sent out my first email about an upcoming retreat that I'm doing. First email I've sent in a year. Like, I'm not kidding, to that list. Like, and I still had people unsubscribe. I'm like, what the hell? Like, why are you unsubscribing? I never even email you. Why'd you unsubscribe?
It's all good. So there's 100 live stream secrets. These are ideas for lives that they can do, or?
Yep. 100 different ideas on.
Do you have a couple of them you can share that come to mind, or I know it's putting you on the spot? Probably for the third time.
I'd have to pull it up.
Okay. I guess one is you could do a podcast. You could create your own podcast, go live.
But it's tips on, like, on how you can go live and give tips. Like if you
3 secrets or something.
It's like I know I should just pull it up on my computer, but like, you know, talk about something that happened to you in the past that almost stopped you and you overcame it. That's one idea.
Okay.
Like, how'd you overcome
that's great.
something that held you back? See, the problem that a lot of people think that if they use live streaming, they need to use it to sell something. So they automatically create this resistance in their head that's not even real. Like, you don't have to sell anything. You just want to create influence. You want to create a brand. You want to get people to know, like, and trust you. You want people to follow you. You know, I want people to follow me on Facebook and on LinkedIn and on Twitter and Instagram. I want people to follow me because I like having followers, like everybody does. And if I ever do want to talk to somebody about a program, then I have followers to talk to. But like, a lot of people go, I'm going to go live and I'm going to sell my knife making class, or I'm going to, you know, or whatever. Like, and they've never been live before. Like, no, man, that's not the way to do it. You don't do it that way. You got to go live, deliver value. Grant talks about it. Give away information for free. Don't expect anything in return. Just give away free information. And eventually people just, they show up because they feel like, number one, you're not out to scam them. There's a lot of scammers on the internet, man. They feel like you're not out to scam them. And they feel like every time they watch a live stream of yours that you're giving them incredible value. Yeah. Like, you might be the best pie maker in the world and nobody knows it except for your family.
Yeah.
Why not go live and show people how to make the best pie in the world? Well, I don't want to give away my family secrets. Let me give you a secret. You could literally give some, hey, there's a pot of gold buried in the ground at the big rock at the fork in the road in Salt Lake City, Utah. And if you just go there and start digging, you'll find it and you'll be a billionaire. And 99% of the people, 99.9% of the people that hear that message will not go dig for that pot of gold. You know why? Number of reasons. They don't believe you. They don't believe in themselves. You could give away the secret sauce and nobody's going to even do anything with it. They just want to be inspired by you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a key, you know, you inspire people and they'll buy anything from you. You know, it's like the emotion of you getting in front of somebody and them being inspired and them feeling uplifted. Because I mean, one thing that comes to mind, Ken, and, you know, because I talk about this, like, you know, selling process, especially when you're on stage or you're on a live stream, is somebody like Tony Robbins. He gets you to his event, he gets you all excited, he gets you like your highest high, then he brings you to your lowest low, talking about your limiting beliefs, overcome. He does like meditations for like you transcending from like where you were to going to the next level. And then what does he do? Something unique that nobody does at their events. He has you walk on fire. So when you leave the event, you feel like, if I can walk on fire, I can sell my book. I can sell a $100,000 program. I can sell real estate. Like, you literally feel like you can do anything because you did something that you never thought you would ever be able to do. That you're like, oh, wow, I got blisters on my feet, but I overcame it. It's fine. I walked on fire. Now I can move into the next phase of my life without fear.
Yep.
And I think that's what, you know, a lot of people, and you mentioned that, like, you said that people going live, like, just press the dang button and go live. Because I had people that came to my live event that never went live. I saw them at a Brendan Burchard event. I said, give me your phone. And I went to Facebook and we went live, and then they did 100 lives in a row because they're like, that was actually fun. I got people, my own family, like, you know, talking to me like this. So they don't even realize how exciting this is, because their comfort zone is like blocking them, right?
It is. And their fears, they're just the fear of and they're done. I mean, dude, I remember the first time I went live, like, Periscope didn't even, I had nothing but Androids back in the day. And I was like, for whatever reason, anti-Apple. I still don't know why. I'm not now. Everything I own is Apple. But I bought, I remember I had 18 Android phones. All of my employees had an Android. I paid for it. And I was like, I went to Verizon. I went to my girl that sells me my phones and stuff. And I said, give me an iPhone. She goes, what? I'm like, you? And she goes, I go, don't. Just give me an iPhone. I need it for Periscope. She goes, what's Periscope? I go, just give me an iPhone. And so I get an iPhone just so I could start watching Grant on and learn from him on Periscope. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna use Periscope too. So, you know, I think that you know, if you, I forget where I was going with all that information.
It's all good. We'll come back to you. One thing that came to mind there when you were talking is I actually went and bought 2 iPhones at one point because I went to Ty Lopez's house and he actually had like 15. Like he has different areas in his house. He had people filming and doing all kinds of stuff there. Yeah. Anyway, so he had a section in his house where he goes live, but it had like 15 iPhones on it. Like it was like this thing. It was before StreamYard, before Be Live, all that stuff. So I went out and I bought 2, and then I went to like Magic Mountain. I went to Six Flags, and I had my 2 phones, and I was like filming, and like, you know, I was doing a stream like on both phones and all that, and I was having a great day. Then I went on one of the rides, and both of my phones came out of my pocket because I didn't put them in a secure, like I was an idiot, you know. I was like, I put them in my pocket, and both of my phones, one of them survived, the other one didn't at all. At least one. And then I did a live at the end, and like I was like, guys, because they were expecting me to go live all day, like going here, like because I was overcoming my fears going on these rides. Okay.
Wow.
So I couldn't. Yeah. So anyway, that comes to mind, overcoming fears, you know, having multiple phones.
Yeah. I mean, you got it. Again, it's just and it's not just live streaming. It's social media, period. I mean, people are afraid of it, man. And there's nothing to be
I'm guilty of that. I'm for sure guilty. And you know, and this is something, this right here is inspiring me. Like I guarantee you, like I'm going to go live today, do a story, do some stuff, promote this, like, you know, like get outside of the comfort zone bubble and stop using the excuse, oh, I had too many calls today, I'm tired. Like just go and do it. And it's like you're always beating yourself up. Like you judge yourself harder than everybody else does, right?
Dude, you already know this, but you know, I mean, and in the self-help arena, like, you know, Dr. John Gray, who's been on Oprah 18 times, he wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. He's become a friend of mine. Rami El-Batrawi, he's a billionaire that lives in Hollywood Hills. It's a really good friend of mine. And you know, I know all these people now because of my show and because I overcame the fears. Oh, the first time I went live, that's what I was taught. So I was standing in my conference room. I had 10 employees. I said, all right, everybody come to the conference room. And I'm standing there with my iPhone. I'm like, my new iPhone. I go, I'm getting ready to do my very first live stream on Periscope, everybody. And they're like, okay, cool. And I'm like, so I'm getting ready to do it. And they're like, okay. And I go, this isn't the reaction I thought I was going to get. Everybody get out. And then I just go. I'm going to do it on my own. Just go. And then I told my assistant, you stay. And no, you go too. And so I remember the very first time I'm looking at my phone, I'm like, hi, I'm Ken Walls, and I have no idea why I'm doing this. I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, so thanks for watching. I ended it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go throw up now. I was nervous as a hooker in church, dude. I was like, what the hell? I was out of my freaking, dude, it was off the hook. And
do you still have this thing live, or did you delete it?
No, that was on Periscope.
Oh yeah, Periscope doesn't save it, right?
They did. Well, they did, yeah, but
did?
It's gone now.
Okay.
But you know, I wish I had that because, dude, oh my God, I was scared to death. And here's what was going on in my head. You guys want to peek inside? Here you go.
Yeah.
What if an ex shows up? What if an ex-girlfriend, an ex-wife, or an ex, or what if a former employee that hates me shows up? Or what if a pissed off client shows up and starts talking trash, and all of those fears, which never happened. And I've had haters show up on live streams. Now I just ignore them. I don't even acknowledge that they're on there. Most of the time I just block them if I can, if I see them. It happens.
They're obnoxious. Yeah.
Yeah. You just move on. You just roll right through it. Yeah. Do not give haters any attention. No energy.
Yeah.
They'll steal yours.
Awesome. Well, we're going to wrap up here in a little bit, guys. I wanted to let you know that you should definitely go to kenwalls.com and follow Ken. You can get in touch with him and everything that he's doing. This man has so much value. Honestly, I feel like we're just getting warmed up because I have so much more stuff to talk about. Like my first time that I got introduced to Periscope, it was at Brendan Burchard's event. Shalene Johnson was on stage. She went live on Periscope and generated I think it was like 4,000 leads. It was in the thousands of leads. She sent them to like a free opt-in because she was at Brendan's event. She was promoting it to her list. Like she did a live. She definitely did it, but she showed her all the leads that came in from this and how many leads she generated, like over 100,000 in the last 2 months off of just going live on Periscope. And she was just doing this system. And then I did my first one. I think that day I went out in the lobby and did it. And then, and then Facebook came out with Facebook Live. And then that was kind of the big thing. And then, it was really, really exciting. So anyway, guys, make sure you go to kenwalls.com. Ken's got books. He's got courses. He's got free things to give away. He'll work with you in different capacities. You can get to know him more there. He's got tons of different value to offer. Make sure you take him up on that. He's an expert in the industry, one of my best friends, somebody that just gives value all day in so many different ways. He's a humble man and just somebody that I respect at the highest level. So make sure you go to kenwalls.com, check out everything he has to offer there. And then we were posting this for a little while, the 100 live stream secrets. We talked a lot about that, getting outside of your bubble, getting some ideas so you can start going live every single day, multiple times a day maybe. And you can go on the 90-day challenge of going live and see how your life changes. And that's what I want you to be inspired by today, is you can take your life to the next level by just taking yourself from under the rock you're under and put yourself out there and start getting attention. So Ken, is there any last parting words you want to share with them to inspire them? Just send them off into the sunset?
Yeah, I will. I came up with this quote a long time ago, and then this other company stole it from me and they trademarked it. I hate that. It's just do it. I didn't come up with that.
Just do it, guys. You heard it right there. I mean, that's a great motto, slogan, whatever it's called. Just do it, guys. I mean, just don't overthink. I mean, a lot of times we're in our heads. Just go out there and do it. So thanks, Ken, for coming on.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
You're welcome on any time. Would love to connect with you, and we'll just see what we can do to support one another now in the future, forever, and just see what we can do out there. But thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys share this out on social. Drop a comment. We'll go through and reply to the comments. Do a better job on doing that. Make sure you click the like, the hearts, all that kind of good stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.